Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Owoh's Corner, my own little corner of art. And today we are back working on my background and assets for my animation. And if I'm being completely honest, things have been going pretty good with this project, and I really enjoyed working on it, doing all this. It's been quite a blast, and it's just been quite nice. So anyway, last time what I did was I had drawn all the buildings and I also worked on the background as well. And so now I'm working on the floating islands. So what I'm going to end up doing for them is because the bottom is earthy, the earth itself is not this sort of flat space. It's not just one static color. I am, in fact, going to have to go back in and add a few shades and tones to it just to really help the sort of view of what I'm working on. I also have to draw the actual buildings as well. So, for starters, for right now at least, what I think I'm going to do is hide the sky so then I can better focus on the actual buildings that I'm drawing. And I think I might go back and recolor the background. It does feel a bit off off to me. Just making sure this is all colored and it looks nice and good. This project is coming along nicely and I've liked the progress I've made with it so far. Uh-oh, that was much better. Let's see here. What I'm doing right now is I'm trying to find if there are any holes or areas and places where I did not fill them completely. Usually, what happens when you're drawing or animating, you can have a bad habit of skipping areas or skipping portions because you have some background element that is showing on top of it. So when you're coloring, you might be thinking, oh, I already drew over this, and you can miss it, which is completely fine. It happens to the best of us. It literally happens to every artist. So when you're doing this, when you're animating or drawing different things for the background, you just want to make sure that everything is nicely colored and filled. Coming along pretty good. Now, for the buildings, I'm tempted to either do a very dark purple or I might just go for a black color. Because if I do the black color, then I can add like yellow windows, and that might, in fact, sort of help separate and differentiate the rest of the piece. So real quick, let me see this right here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with a black color. But because of the colors I chose earlier, what I am gonna do is I'm going to have it more so have a shade of purple in it, just so there's still that slight separation and deviation from the background. Because for the background, I used blues and blacks. And the human body and well, not the human body, but the human eyes are very sensitive to the shifts in colors and the shifts in change. So, say you have two blacks and you have them next to each other or one on top of the other. If there is a hint of purple or a hint of blue or like a hint of red in that black, you're going to be able to tell. You might not be able to tell when you have the colors separate, but if you put them next to each other or one on top of the other, you can definitely tell. So that's really the thing I'm going for, at least for this. So I'm going to zoom in, go up here to the buildings, and I'm going to start coloring. This is the correct, yes, it is. Because after I finish, what I plan on doing is I plan on grouping these together. So then when it comes time to put these in After Effects, then all I'll really have to do is just separate each of these into their own layers, export each of these as their own layers, and then I can freely animate them or composite them as I see fit when the time comes. Okay, so that's two down. Let me group them together. Now for this building, I'm definitely going to use a darker shade. Is it shade? Yes, shade is the correct proper term. A darker shade of purple. Just so it further sells the idea that this is a building or this is an object that is farther in the background. Usually, when you are drawing and animating assets for like an animation or a video, you are gonna want to not color in like the shaded portions and the shaded areas, because then when you have something that you've animated, then like the animation can clip over top of wherever it was you were drawing or where you drew that shaded portion. So usually what happens is animators they rarely color or draw like shading. Like if there's hold on, let me actually zoom out and give an example. Like animators when they're drawing assets, they rarely have like this building right here isn't gonna be like in shadow, and then there's gonna be an overcasting shadow like right here or right there, and this portion might not appear in shadow when they're drawing the assets. Usually that gets added in post production, because then you can attach certain things to like a parent layer where the object will move or shift in line with the object it's attached to. Like when you're drawing assets for an animation or like a clip or something, you really want to be mm, bare bones. That's the best way I can describe it, because if you see right here with the sidewalk with the cobblestone path and with these two buildings in the front, they have the most detail because of the fact that they're the closest to the observer. But then if you see, and I have them hidden right now, but if you see these buildings right here, they don't have the speckles, they don't have the sort of hash marks I did right here. These buildings back here are basic colors because they are farther away. Because how humans perceive color and how humans perceive detail, the farther something is away, if you squint your eyes, then you're just gonna see one color. You're not gonna see like specks of orange or specks of like dark brown. So let me hide these right here. And now let me go back to this right here. Let's see. So this is a bit closer. This floating building that you see right here that I'm about to color is a bit closer. It's actually, even though you can't really tell because, well, there's no color, but this building right here is actually closer than this sort of small island right here and this small island over there. So I am going to have to use some brighter colors to again sell that sense of dimension. And these are all what are they? These are all sort of different principles and different aspects of art that you learn, like in you formally learn it in high school or college, but even if you haven't taken any art classes, while you might not know the proper terms and the proper words to describe them, you are in fact going to pick up these basic principles. It's just art classes and art courses teach you the formal proper words for it. So you learn things like color, dimension, composition, line weight, and different things like that. What institutions try to teach you is they mainly want you to learn habit. They want you to automatically sort of pull these design elements off and just do them, have them come naturally to you. They're not really concerned about uh, if you know the proper word or if you, whatever it may be. My mind is blanking. I'm focusing on art right now. But I mean, honestly, I actually learned that I want to say my junior year of college is that knowing the proper word or the proper definition for principles doesn't really matter. What really matters is that it just becomes second nature to you. Like an employer more than likely isn't going to ask you about composition. They just want you to put your knowledge into practice. Let's see here. I'm actually gonna have to make this a bit brighter because one of the issues I'm having is that despite me using a shade of black for the actual line art, sadly it is not appearing over top of the actual lines I drew. And so what I could do is I could add like what are they called? Street lights. I mean not street lights, but like building lights and the lights of buildings that are appearing over top, but I don't want to depend on that too much. Because again, these floating islands are appearing far away in the background. So a lot of the lights and colors are going to blend. At least they would blend if this was like a live action piece or whatever. And obviously, I can use filters in After Effects and in Photoshop, but as artists, you'll usually want to not use too many filters when you're drawing and doing art. Essentially, adding filters like opacity and hue, saturation, vibrance, you only add, I keep saying filters, but I say that so much it's not even sound like a word anymore. You only want to add them to insinuate what's already there, not make up for what you didn't do. A constant thing that is brought up in the art world and in art is general is that less is more. And those are words to live by. Pretty much in anything and everything you do, less is going to be more. Now, to use a slightly lighter shade of purple, that'll be good. This is coming along nicely. Oh, yeah, so I have some good news. I have orientation for a job actually tomorrow, Wednesday. It was sort of out of the blue because I got a call and they said, "Hey, are you still interested in this position?" I said, "Yes, of course." And they gave me an account. They told me to log in. And yeah, Our orientation is tomorrow, though I don't know when I'll actually be starting my hours, but it's a job for a store, and that's pretty much all I'm gonna say. I don't want to share too much, but it's a job for a store, and it's not like I'm going to give up on animation. This isn't me giving up. I love animation, I love art, so of course I'm gonna keep doing it. Even if the position I'm going to is a full time position, I'm still gonna find time to stream and find time to work on my art and animation because that's what I chose to do. I chose to go into art. I chose to go into animation. This is just something to sort of get my foot in the door, I guess you could say, gain experience, maybe network a little bit. Um, I have heard from people that you shouldn't really tell too much of your business at work, and I mean, y'all know me. I already don't tell a lot of my business. I mostly stay like private. What I talk about in my stream is really just the stuff I feel comfortable talking about. So if I don't bring it up on my stream, I'm not gonna bring it up in my workplace. But like, yeah, it feels like things are getting better because honestly, these past couple of months, these past couple of weeks, even, like, I was just feeling horrible. Like, it felt like I had no hope. It felt like nothing was gonna happen, nothing was gonna go on. Like, I'd just be stuck where I am. And I'm kind of happy that now things are going somewhat good. It looks like I have a call, so I will be muting my stream. I have to take care of a call real quick. Hello, everyone, and I am back. I apologize for that. My mom called, and we had a conversation about something. I hope I didn't keep you guys for too long. While I was talking to her, I didn't do any drawing, that would be disrespectful. But I did just, look at my art and look how far I was coming, and I'm enjoying this. Like, this is coming along nicely. This is really nice. This is really good. Some good work I've been doing. And I'm actually glad that I'm almost done with it. Uh, Wait, is my mic on? Yes, it is on. You see, even though I put in, shortcuts for my stream to make sure it is that it's more streamless and professional and that I have, certain keys and stuff, I just want to make sure that you guys can hear my beautiful voice. But yeah, what was I talking about? Oh yes, streaming. I'm definitely gonna keep streaming. Like this is just something I love to do and I enjoy doing. So of course I'm gonna try and make time for it. Like I'll try to like get a consistent day off. Maybe like I don't know, I'll do something, but I'm not streaming for nothing. Like this is fun. This is awesome. I love doing this. So, and honestly, guys, like, wish me luck. Wish me some luck. Like, this has been these past couple of months. Like, I've definitely learned a lot and I've gotten better. But even still, like, wish me luck because honestly, you can only go up from here. If you guys are ever struggling or going through something, honestly, you can only go up from wherever you are. Now to work on this next island. When I was designing Neo New York, this setting and location, I actually didn't think to look at areas like the Bronx or Manhattan. I just said, you know what, this is a location in New York, and after the apocalypse, magic made these islands float, and that's pretty much what I've been going off of. I know. It looks good aesthetically, but I do kind of want to, I don't know, put more history or put more deeper thought into this. And again, I'm not a native to New York. I've only done like surface level research, so of course, as this project and this process goes on, I'm definitely gonna have to look at sort of the history of New York, look at the different subdivisions and quadrants or whatever of the city, and try to incorporate that into my project and what I've been doing. But so far, this has been a good project, and I have learned a lot from it. Like this has just been so fun. I know I keep repeating myself or saying the same thing over and over again, but it feels good and it feels nice to work towards something and to have something that you love and want to work towards and grow with and grow from. There goes that smoothing again. I think it's my Alt 5 button, my Alt 5 command. Like, I think when I press Alt 5, it causes my smoothing to go up. So I'll definitely have to look at it like off stream or on stream. I'll look at it off stream because that it would be rude of me to just stop everything to try and figure out and fix my commands. I don't want to do that. Actually, I think what I might do is I might actually have a research stream. Like I'll probably have a stream where I do some research the on the deeper history of New York, its sort of diversity, how it was home to the Roaring Twenties, as well as other advancements socially and mechanically. And then in learning the history, I can probably project and sort of theorize on what a scientific, fantastical future would look in that environment. Because that is actually a factor in many people who work on TV shows or books, other literature, and things like that. Is one second while I take a sip of water. Is that many writers they take years, some even take decades to write and work on their world, which is always so fascinating. Like that is something that always fascinates me is people, compassionate writers who take their time and take so much effort working on their stories, crafting their stories, and crafting the world for their stories. Like that is something that is beautiful and marvelous, and honestly stuff like that should be respected and appreciated. It is honestly wonderful, and I marvel at people who do that to this day. It is beautiful to see a writer or an artist who has been working on a long project for decades, years, and saying, "Hey, this is my world. This is the project that I made. These are the characters. This is what they do for a living. This is how my world works." And then seeing people love that work, indulge in it, and sort of get inspired by it. Like that's why honestly, I think that's why D&D is so popular because D&D was started by like what, one guy and some of his friends. And then after they sort of made the rules and made like a basic setting more and more people made different excerpts and locations and adventures or different plot hooks for people. And it's just grown into this layered project where everyone sort of adds their own thing. And even without Witches of the Coast, there are other freelance artists and freelance writers who make their own storybooks and guides for D&D, for Dungeons and Dragons. Which is honestly, it's marvelous. It's marvelous to see what people can come up with when they work together. It's marvelous to see the different projects that can be done when people work together, when people brainstorm together and think about different projects and things they can make or do. Honestly, it's beautiful. And words cannot describe what I think of it and how beautiful and amazing it is. Like, honestly, I am at a loss for words. I can't even describe how I'm feeling or what I'm thinking right now. Because there's something just so transcendent about having a project or having an idea, people loving that idea and wanting to see that idea grow and flourish. So they help you. They give you assistance if you need it or ask it. And then after that, after your big project is done, you have writers that you've inspired, you have artists that you have inspired, and then people want to add to your world and develop your world further. Like, honestly, that's how fan fiction and fan art and OC's original characters start. It's people who love a world so much that they want to add to it. Honestly, that is beautiful. Now for this, I think I'm gonna use a splatter brush. So let me hold Alt. Dang, that wasn't right. Okay. It seems I have another call. I apologize for that. Hello, is my mic working now? Can you guys? Yes, my mic is back on. I had another call. It was another call for a different position, a marketing position. So, yeah, this is improper. Like I'm just going to be completely honest. If you guys are new watching me, this has never happened before. Usually my Tuesdays and Fridays have been somewhat lucky. So like I haven't had people who regularly called me during stream. So this is new for me. And for those of you who are just now touching down and listening, I was talking about like stress earlier and how I was feeling bad because it was like nothing was coming for me. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm not gonna go too. Do not go softly into that deep night. Fight against the dying of the light. So yeah, I'm not going to get my hopes up. If something's six and if something is good, then so be it. But I'm also not gonna be blind about it or short sighted because I do in fact have a somewhat bad history when it comes to jobs and other things and other positions I have applied for. Like my college years were not good. Like, if you guys have seen my previous streams, I've sort of talked about it. But, like, when I was in college, there was this, like, time where I applied to, like, 25 on campus jobs. I didn't get a single one. And so then after that, for, like, when I was applying to my concentration, I kept getting rejected from it. So, like, those were learning experiences for me to where, you know, I'm not going to be blind about stuff anymore. Like, I'm not going to put all my eggs in one basket. I have backup plans for my backup plans because that's just what happened to me and what I've experienced. And I'd rather not go through something like that again. Like it is a good thing to be optimistic. When I share these things I've gone through, I'm not saying don't be optimistic. I'm not saying have no expectations. Of course, you should have expectations. You should have hope. You should have a vision for yourself and certain things that you want to do or wish to do. That is just a given. We are all human. We all have hopes for the future and things we want to do or wish to do. I'm just saying, if you watch my channel, have a backup plan. And some of you who watch, like, you may be older than me or you may be younger than me, but like, we've all gone through stuff. We've all had things that we've been through or experienced. So when I have my channel, I want to give people realistic advice that they can take with them, not just if they're an artist or not just if they do whatever it is. When you come to my channel, I want everyone to take some lesson from it. And one of the lessons that I will push, that I will promote till the cows come home is do not put all your eggs in one basket. Make sure you have a backup plan and a backup plan for your backup plan because you can think, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, things are going to work out for me. I won't go through any hardship, whatever it may be. And then you're going to get blindsided and it's just going to be this horrible instance for you. And like, it's good to have hope, it's good to have high expectations, it's good to be amped and pumped for things, but Gauge yourself, and gauge what can or will happen. Because you can go into a job and say, "Hey, I'm gonna get this job. I'm things are gonna finally look up. I'm gonna be successful. I'm gonna make like five figures, have like a nice job, or have an apartment." And then something can come down the line that completely sidelines you. So just be happy and celebrate when something good happens, but be ready and prepared in case things go sideways. That's all I'm trying to say. So like make sure you're saving your money. Make sure you have like a 401k, or you put your stuff or put your money into stocks. Build wealth, have like a rainy day fund. Just be careful, because in life you don't know what can happen. You don't know what you can go through that can throw a curveball your way. Have hope, but don't be have hope, but don't be foolish. Anyway, let me work on these next three buildings, because this building right here and these two are so far away in the background. I don't think I really need to add that sort of linear burn to give more depth to them. I don't think I need to do that, so I'll just leave them be for now. But for these two islands up here, I'm definitely going to add a linear burn to the bottom of them to just further sell and further help with the aesthetic that I'm going for. I hope this isn't hurting my animation. I hope this still looks good. Like, one of my so one of my biggest fears is when I am working on a background or when I'm working on assets for a background, one of my fears is that it may cause an uncanny valley effect. Like it may bring attention, I may accidentally bring attention to the background instead of the characters, or rather the characters and the figures that I am drawing and animating will not look like they fit the world, fit the style of the world that I drew for them. Which is why I am so careful and methodical in what I choose to draw and why there are certain things I omit when I'm working on the background. Because it may end up hurting the project as a whole rather than helping it. And this fear that I have is completely natural. Like, it's not like only I deal with this and other animators don't. Like, this is something really natural. All animators, all artists, whether they vocalize it or not, have this sort of mental nitpicking or mental critique with themselves. That they want to make sure that they are presenting and creating a good project, which is why they are very careful with what they draw, what they present, and what they work on. I mean, like, literally, I think that every artist or every artist that does, like, or every creative in general wants to make their audience happy. And it's not really a validation thing. Like, I guess you could sometimes when someone says, "Oh, I want to make people happy," or "Oh, I want to make people smile," oftentimes it can be taken as like a validation thing, like that person might be seeking validation, but that's not always the case. If you are a creative person and your art or your talent is making things for people to consume or view, to indulge in and enjoy, clearly you want to make sure that that product is a good product, that that product draws people in, that they can indulge in it, that even if you're lucky, a fandom might be created after you work on the project. Like, that is something that writers, artists love and enjoy. It's creating something that people flock towards. Simply because they have the skill or the capacity to do it. I mean, if I'm being completely honest, and I hope I don't come off as, I don't know what the word is, and I hope I don't come off as like, I don't know, self absorbed, or like Machiavellian or whatever, but like I can see this project getting watched. Like this project, this world I'm creating, this thing I'm doing, I can see people liking it and enjoying it and wanting more from it. I can see someone I can see this becoming like a D&D setting, or seeing this become like its own role playing game or tabletop role playing game where people can like create their own character, create their own backstory, and just play and run amok in this world that I've created. Like that is something that I look forward to. And I don't know if this project will get that big. I don't know if people will actually like this. But I do see that what I'm working on does have potential. And I'm going to be honest, like sometimes I don't think my art is that good. Sometimes I think I'm a bad artist. And I do try to grow. Like I run into this, and all artists have this sort of fear or this perspective of like constantly comparing themselves to other artists. That's why I'm not on Instagram that much, is because I kept comparing myself to like other artists and animators. But like I'm not the best, and I'll never claim to be the best. But I do love my work. I love what I'm working on. I love doing this, and I want to share it with people. Like I don't have to be the biggest, and I don't have to be the best. If people can say, "Hey, I like this. Hey, this is cool. I really enjoyed this," then that is honestly enough for me. Like not even recognition, just someone saying, "Hey, I like this," is enough for me. So I definitely think that what I can do is, once I put this in After Effects, I'll probably add like a blur layer or a blur filter on top of some of these buildings, these floating islands and buildings in the background, because they are good and they look good, but I do still need to sell that sense of depth to this project, to this work. Now, when I look at this, I do not like the background. I do not like the sky. The sort of vanishing point, that blackness in the vanishing point, that is too dark, that is too black. The sky looks too pastel for what I'm going for. Even though the time of day is night, that seems like an uncharacteristically dark color. It's too, the blue in the background is too vibrant. I definitely want to go a more paler color, a more pale dark blue. What I can do is I'll probably have to, in fact, I can either animate some clouds in Adobe Animate, or what I can do is just have static um sort of cloud-ish shapes for this right here. Now, what I'm doing right now is I'm taking a step back from all of the art that I've done, and I am thinking more critically about it. I am assessing my art. I am giving myself a critique and review. And that's usually what you have to do when you're animating or when you're working on art, or even when you're like editing some video or audio, is sometimes you have to take a step back, look at the full composition, and assess it. And you know what? I'm going to leave this right here. Let me take a little break. There is something I have to take care of. So I'm just going to I know this is really bad. I'm gonna mute my mic again. I'll be right back. I have something I need to take care of. Sorry folks. Okay, now I am back permanently, guys, and this time I mean it. I mean it. I'm back permanently. I'm not gonna ghost or do anything else. You guys have me for the full. Honestly, I think I've already streamed for an hour now. You know what? I keep saying I'm gonna try for another 2 hours, and I usually have like technical issues, or something goes wrong, or something goes bad, and then something happens, and I have to cut my stream short. But this time, yeah, I'm gonna try for. I'm actually gonna stop at 2 hours now. It's only been like an hour 14 minutes. I thought it was longer than that. Time really does fly when you're having fun. Or rather, time doesn't go as fast as you think it goes. Gosh, what? Why are you guys subscribed to me? Like, be honest, because I try to be like this cool, chill guy with a nice voice that you guys can just sit back and listen to. But then I keep failing, and stuff happens. Like, this is probably the most uncoordinated stream I've had thus far. And like, I don't know if that's a bad thing or a good thing. How can that be a good thing? It's not a good. Well, I mean, yeah, like the unaccounted for, the sporadic moments can be fun. I'm not gonna lie and say they're not fun. Like they can be fun. but it's still improper, you know? Like, I'm trying to give you guys an experience. I'm trying to have you guys enjoy yourselves, and I keep failing at my job. But it's all good. Life is just a bunch of trial and error on an infinite looping cycle until you spin off into entropy. And then afterwards, who knows what happens after that? Okay, so this is what it looks like, or at least roughly what it's gonna look like. I have some animation happening in the foreground, and that's gonna involve characters walking around, looking around in the foreground and midground. I'll probably have to add some clouds in the background. I'll have to animate some clouds, like right in this section over here, just because I've now fallen into a. I'm trying to say it in the correct way. Things look too flat, and they kind of need to be flat simply because of how things were drawn and done. Because in After Effects is gonna where I'm gonna add drop shadows and different shadows and alter the blur and opacity of certain objects. Because after this, I'm gonna have to essentially export every single little thing as its own layer. So then I can put stuff on top of each other, and then there are going to be certain animations where they may appear on top of one object but underneath another. So yeah, I certainly have my work cut out for me. This is going to be fun, guys. A whole lot of fun. And so I'm probably going to add some actually, now that I have this handled, let me actually go over to this background. Uh yeah, I'm definitely gonna want to change the color for this background. It's definitely gonna have to be like a paler blue, maybe like a lighter pale blue, because this the blue that I chose for the background, it's too pastel and it's too vibrant. It's gonna this the how I colored the sky is gonna do more harm than good. I can already tell. Okay. Now I just need to. Okay, that's one down and three to go. And then after that, all I really need to do is just color. So this is going along swimmingly. Okay, that's what it looks like so far. There's another bench, and then there's another plant that I need to do. And then and then I need to redraw the background. But after that, I think I'm gonna be done with my assets, at least scene three. I'll be done with my assets for scene three. And I've also been working on other projects, other things as well. Like I've been working on animating an outro for my channel. Like an animated outro, I've been working on that. And I've also been working on like one or two intermission type scenes for OBS. So then that can be more presentable and professional. So then I can just click a hotkey in case I need to go somewhere or take care of something or like have a call or something. I'll just click a button, my intermission will pop up, and then it'll be like this nice little animation that you guys can watch and look at while I take care of whatever I need to take care of. But yeah, like that's pretty much what I've been working on and what I've been doing. As far as the not the teaser trailer, but the pilot, I do have the pilot roughed out and planned. I already know what I want to do and sort of how the pilot is going to go because it's not going to follow like the leader or the main character. So, Ayo, the leader of Witches 13, he's going to show up like towards the mid and end of the teaser trailer. He's not going to be sort of the focus. The focus is going to be actually this new character. His name is, well, actually, he sort of has like a code name, but like he's this character who is a part of the military, and I'll go more in depth with him later. But essentially, the pilot follows his story, his life, and how his life has gone downhill, and sort of how he came across Ayo and his organization and his group, and why they're doing what they're doing. But yeah, the overall structure of the show and what I'm going for, it's definitely gonna be more so a not ensemble show because the main characters and the heroes we follow, there are 13 of them. And so that is kind of concerning because I chose 13 because 13 is like a unlucky number, and I chose it because I wanted it to be like a big thing in this world, or at least a big thing with the main characters is the number 13. And then the numbers 6 and 7 are also important in this show. But how the series is gonna go holistically is there are going to be certain episodes that feature and concentrate on certain characters. Like each episode, you're gonna learn the backstory or like the general wants and desires of each of the main characters, each of the main protagonists. And it's sort of gonna go in and it's going to either like subtly or overtly state their backstory, what they went through, and why. And then the season finale, it's gonna be sort of like the final fight, but the final fight is gonna go wrong. And then season two is going to pick up after the final fight, where the main characters learn a lesson or their goals and motivations shift, and then they choose to do something different or something else. And so because the and so because I want to share the world, because a big part of the story is the world, what I plan to do, what I plan to have is that like the world is going to be explored through the main character's plans and them putting their plans and ideas into motion. You can tell that this isn't scripted because like I've just been talking all over the place with my idea in my show. But yeah, I honestly don't think I'm gonna lose any traction. Like this is something I really love doing, and I'm really passionate about, and I just have always wanted to do was to like make my own show, make my own teaser trailer, and do all this stuff. This has been stuff I've wanted to do, and I've really looked forward in doing that. I've just enjoyed working on. Like this is nice. This is fun. This is really something I enjoy and just love doing and love working on. Let's see here. After this stream, I'm definitely gonna work some more on my animation. I have my intermissions to animate. Then I have, what else did I have to do? It was the, it was the intermissions, the outro. I'm actually happy because there are certain parts and segments where I'm actually just working on the coloring phase of my animation. The final scene, scene five, I do actually have to put the final line art on it, but for the most part, like if I'm being honest, that's practically done. Like that's been done. And there's also another animation exercise I've been working on too. Things have been going along quite well and quite swimmingly. Things have been pretty good. Things are looking up. And I am glad, I am happy. One thing I am sort of concerned about is after I start this job, and because this job is a full time position, I'm kind of scared. Like, what if I don't have enough time for my animation? What if I don't have enough time to stream? And honestly, if that does happen, then I may cut back on the streaming, but I might work more on and do more videos. Like, I might have more animation tips and tricks. I might end up uploading like segments of my animation, and that is what people can watch these, in case I can't stream as often as I usually do. Because I work the evening shift, what might end up happening is I actually might end up streaming during the day. which is gonna be new, and it's definitely gonna be interesting. But I look forward to it. I think this is gonna be fun. I think that's gonna be nice. And this is just a new phase of my life. Like honestly, everyone's life goes through phases, and people change, things change. You go through different stuff, and it's not like you have to give up on what you love. You just go through something different, you go through something new, and things are going to be different for a time. And that's the exciting part. Anyway, I'm not going to say I've gone through burnout, but I've definitely gotten a bit tired. I've been working on this for a while. I've been coloring and painting, stuff like that. So I do think that I am going to sadly call this it for the stream. But hold on, let me just guides. I don't want to clear my guides. I wanted to hide my guide so I can show you guys what this looks like. I guess I can't. But this is what I've gotten so far. The buildings, they're done. The more black, dark purple buildings and the way background. I finished the floating islands. I also added some detail to them. Now I just need to put it through After Effects. I'm also working on the foreground, and I just need to finish that, color that. Then it just goes down to putting it in Adobe Animate, After Effects, compositing it, and making sure this animation looks good and presentable. And this was something new. This was something actually very different that I wasn't looking forward to, but I'm glad that I did, and I'm glad is coming along well, coming along nice. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. Uh this has been my stream. And we'll see what it looks like in the future, what my schedule looks like in the future. Things might shift. I might not be able to stream around noon, around lunchtime anymore, but that's okay. That's perfectly fine. Anyway, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share even if you want to. Give support if you want. I have Instagram, I have Twitter, I have ArtStation. Look on ArtStation, not just for me, but for all artists and animators and people in that field, because honestly, ArtStation is where it's at. People sleep on ArtStation, but it is amazing. It is beautiful. Uh, and no, I am not sponsored by ArtStation. But anyway, yeah, this has been Owoh's Corner, my own little corner of art. I'll see you guys in my next video or stream. Bye.